Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Now, to say that 2020 has been a crazy year, well, I think that's definitely an understatement. And when it came to entertainment options for us out there, well, things like movie and television, well, it was pretty slim pickings out there. And even though the comic book industry took a hit during the whole shutdown, I felt like when things reopened, they actually had an opportunity to shine. And for me personally, not only have I read more comics than I have in any other year, but I've also read more complete series than I have in any other years. Now, while I haven't completed as many comic book series as I've wanted to, I felt like I could do at least a top 5 of my favorite comic book series I've read this year. And I'm gonna start off with number 5, which was a 4-issue series of Hotell. The story in Hotell is just what it sounds like. It's a story about a hotel. However, this establishment, known as the Pierrot Courts, isn't found on any map, and the people don't choose it, it chooses them. In each of the 4 issues, it told a unique story about a particular guest or guest, and when it all comes to a fiery conclusion, all the stories are interwoven together. If you enjoy a supernatural mystery thriller, consider spending some time at this hotel, as you just never know what type of creep, demon, or clown you might run into. Now, coming in at number 4 is a comic book series I've been reviewing here on a regular. And I've described this comic book series like you get shot out of a roller coaster. You're going through all these crazy loops, and just when you think it's gonna end, well, there's another surprise ahead. And that's DC's Dark Knight's Death Metal. When I started reading Death Metal, I wasn't sure what I would think of it. But as issues were being released almost on a weekly basis, I found myself excited each and every week as I left the comic book store to crack open the new book and see what predicament our heroes and villains would find themselves in, as Perpetua and the Batman Who Laughs each were making a power play for supremacy. Whether it was the main story, the 5-issue miniseries that took place inside the Justice League, or the many one-shots with the exception of the Multiverse Who Laughs, they have been just a ton of fun, especially the one-shot of the Robin King. Now, as of this recording, there's just 1 issue left, and I don't foresee a letdown when it's all said and done. Now, coming in at number 3, had it not been for the pandemic and me looking for more comic books to read, I probably honestly would have not even picked this series up, but I'm so glad I did, and that's Devil's Highway. The story in Devil's Highway is that ladies of the night have started to go missing. In issue number 1, one of these ladies is in trouble at a diner when a worker named Joe tries to come to her rescue, but he will pay the ultimate price. The killer also has a fascination with snakes and loves to leave a calling card. Not waiting around for the authorities to get their butts into gear, Joe's daughter, Sharon, heads up her own investigation. With her military background and those rock-hard abs, Sharon comes off as a very believable badass. And Sharon won't be the only person trying to crack this case, as she will make an unexpected friend. They will find out that they are not just looking for a killer, but an entire organization of truckers who can come across just as another ordinary person. When the series ends, it comes to a satisfying conclusion. However, they left it open for a follow-up. And while the story is fantastic, the artwork throughout these 5 issues is just masterful, as it pulls you right into this crazy universe that is Devil's Highway. Now, what happens when you cross 2 of pop culture's biggest icons and you throw them into a comic book? Well, you get my number 2 pick for comic book series of the year, and that's the 4-issue series of Transformers vs. the Terminator. When I first heard this comic was going to be released, I completely geeked out. Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time, and growing up, I loved playing with the Transformers toys, and it was my 3rd favorite cartoon right after Thundercats and Masters of the Universe. So either this was going to be a total letdown or a fanboy dream moment. And since this is my number 2 comic book series of 2020, it was definitely a success. The creators go with the nostalgia factor in both the story and especially the artwork, as it screams 1980s, and I love it. Most of our favorites from both series are here, from Starscream to the T-800, Optimus Prime to Sarah Connor. And one of my only nitpicks coming out of issue number 3 with the series was there was plenty of Sarah Connor, but I would have liked to see more Terminator. But when the series came to an epic conclusion, not only was it satisfying, but it left the story open with the possibility for more confrontation collaborations between the Transformers and the Terminator in the future. Now, I'm an 80s kid and I'm definitely a sucker for nostalgia, so this should be no surprise to you guys out there, especially if you've been following along here on the channel, what my #1 pick for comic book series of the year is, and that's gonna be He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. How do you take something so beloved from many of our childhoods, bring it to present day, and make it feel familiar, but yet fresh at the same time? Well, DC Comics did it with the 6-issue series of He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. You'll see familiars both friendly and evil, a plethora of He-Man, as well as the main antagonist, Anti-He-Man, who is jumping from one multiverse to another, collecting parts of power swords. He has no sympathy. He continues to grow in power. He has no trouble slaying anyone, including another He-Man, if they get in his way. Now, He-Man is known as the most powerful man in the universe, so who could stop him? Well, it'll actually have to be a Skeletor in the form of Prince Keldor, who will be the multiverse's best chance to stop such a menace. There's so much fun to be had here in this 6-issue series. From the vibrant colors to the story, I was smiling with nostalgia as it transplanted me back to the days as a kid playing with my He-Man action figures. If you're a comic book fan, this is a great read. But if you're a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe fan, this is a must read. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for my top 5 comic book series for 2020. Now what did you guys think about my picks, and what are your top 5 comic book series for 2020? Leave me a comment down below, and guys, if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.